Hello Gemini, kia ora koutou katoa. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Lesley Ormsby, and I'm a psychic medium, a healer and a teacher, a tarot reader, which is a newish one over the last couple of years that I've got more into the tarot, but also I read the oracle cards as well. So I'm more of an intuitive in that way, but as with everything, you do research and study as well. Well, for me anyway, and with the cards and learning them a bit, but I'm more into the more intuitive, not into the, but intuitive. So I'm just wanting to say that because there are a lot of things that are changing and adding on to everyone's basket of knowledge or kite of knowledge. Or just in there, in your diary of knowledge, your book of knowledge, your universal book of knowledge. For you, and there's things that are coming out. So there we have many different talents and abilities that that we know of, and that we know that there's probably could be expansion on or of, or with some things that have been that you've learned along the way. It's not necessarily that you go much further with it because you found out what you needed to know. So there's a whole lot of energy that's coming in there, and I feel like some of you may be feeling a little bit overwhelmed with with the energy over the last few weeks, months, and blah blah blah. But probably over the last couple of days, and starting to settle a little bit now. So today is Monday the 28th of December 2020 that I'm recording. So. And things are starting on, if the energy's feeling like it's starting to settle a little bit more. Anyway, for me anyway, with some things that had come up, to grapple with, you could say, or get a hold of, or just process, that have come up that I've thought, well, that is there to be, recognized again, or noticed again, to clear, to help me shift through to the next stage of whatever or next phase of my journey with certain projects. And some of them I know I'm going to be leaving them behind, in the sense that with that I know where that's as far as I go with that, and I'm taking the knowledge of that into something new. And there's that sort of thing, and it's not that I'm throwing it away. It's just that sometimes or discarding it. It's just that wherever that journey took me is I've got my learning from that, and my sharing from that as well. So there was a giving and a sharing experience that that some of you may be feeling now, and it's maybe. And it's got you to a space of growth where it's like, okay, I'm ready to move or shift on with the shifts and release whatever is, I feel bound to. So those are the words that are coming through anyway. So I'm speaking, for from what spirit I've been going through as well, because that's how, they're getting me to share what is happening with me, or has been happening with me. So, in helping me to share the words to help best describe it for you. So there's some sort of release going on at the same time, or some aha moments that are coming up for you, hopefully. So, anyway. But and it's like, or some clarification, there with you as well. So anyhow, so there's a thing of, knowing who you are, and what you're capable of, basically. So they're showing me like this last year, and and even maybe for some of you more so these last couple of months and last couple of weeks, have you fully realized, or more realized, or even some of you just realized actually how far you've come from where you've come from, how to as far as growth, and in many different ways. Could be in just one or two ways for you, but I feel like if you look a little bit deeper and look a bit more expansive, you will notice that, realize that actually there is, and you may only see it as a smidgen, but it's like it's something, it's a shift, it's a movement, it's progress, or it's growth in some way or form. So I feel like Spirit is saying, do not belittle it, because it's one it may be like that saying is like, it might be a spit in the ocean, and some people might say, oh, it's just spit in the ocean and look at that as a negative way, but it's like, you know, it's something, and it's a contribution to whatever it is. That's an interesting metaphorical explanation, I think. But anyway, I think you'll get that. You'll get that where they go from. I get it where it's just like explaining it differently. So anyway, as I was preparing to do your this session, I was just, as always, as when I'm connecting in, there are usually little messages that come through, and they're coming through, and what had come through was that there was a white horse, and with someone on it. So I saw it as me being on it, and also, but there was a guardian on it, and an energy on it. And it reminded me of the Rider-Waite deck and another deck that I've got, where there is that big white horse, and there's a person that's riding this big white horse, and it's a child energy or a young person energy that's riding the horse and naked. So it's like, remind me of the Sun card, actually. And so there is hope and inspiration. There's hope there, and looking towards the sun, you know, looking towards the sun and seeing things bright. As sun as an inspiration and brightness to help lift your energy. So whether you are in, you know, somewhere in those parts of the world where it may be a little colder now, and it kind of might feel a little bit, you know, dim, or the energy, like, because it's a little bit, you know, the energy is a little bit darker, or how, depending on where you are, and you're more indoors and that sort of thing. So it may be that you're feeling a little bit using that energy to lift you, or that's, you know, going into that space to help lift you, to shift that energy that your head or your actual physical energy may be going through at the moment. So yeah, so, and then that horse changed into it, you know, as that horse went round, it changed into, and that energy into a bull. So, and I'm hearing Taurus with that bull. So, and then that bull went round in a circle, and it changed around. So there's something going around, or shifting, and going. And I'm not hearing like going. I am hearing going in circles. And when I say the circle going around, but there's something moving, something's turning around, and or someone's turning around. Okay, so I'm hearing, and then as that one come back, acknowledged me, and then it went turned into a line and wandered off. So there's something about, you know, the Taurus sign, you know, the sun sign and Taurus. So there may be somebody in your life that is a Taurus sign, that is there, that may be, you know, going to help you in some way or form, or you're going to help them, vice versa, in some way or form, and, you know, an exchanging of energies in some way or form. And then that line went off. I mean, the bull went around, and then it turned into a line, and then it strolled off into the sunset, you could say. Yeah, sunset. I'm just, yeah, recalling that dream. So, and took off. So, and then for me, that reminded me of, you know, the courage card. You know, the card courage in the or strength, I think it is more, in the tarot decks. You know, and so it's like, oh, okay, so. You know, so there's a sense of, you know, shifting, you know, being, seeing the light in everything, and but also being the light, okay, and expanding your light and moving towards the light, drawing in the light for inspiration, hope. Inspiration is, which is kind of like, for me, I'm hearing the star card as well. So, but they keep, yeah, talking about the sun. Anyway, the sun is shining. Yeah, the sun is shining. Okay, so anyway, getting back to my introduction, so there are things that are moving around. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that there. And so anyway, welcome. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, yeah, I invite you to do that now or at the end of the video. And thank you to everybody who has subscribed. And, you know, give me a thumbs up, or, you know, if it doesn't resonate with you, it doesn't resonate with you. So it's okay if you feel like you want to give me a thumbs down. It's like, or give this reading a thumbs down. I understand that. So it's not going to resonate with everybody. But however, on saying that, if it doesn't, you know, check out one of your other signs, because it may be that this is more of a forecast for you and you may just know bits and pieces of it. So check out one of your other signs. So this is for Gemini. So Gemini might be in your astrological chart. So it may be your sun, moon, rising or ascending sign, and or Venus sign for you. So and then if you don't know what your other signs are, there is a link in the description box below that will take you to a website that has a free calculator on it, and it will work it out for you. So yeah, so anyway, and as I was like doing this beginning and getting things ready, I wanted to light some sage. So, and as we are coming into a full moon energy, on the 30th here in NZ, I think it may be the 29th, or in other parts of the world. There is, or maybe the 30th, different other parts of the world. And so, yeah, I wanted to burn, or I was drawn to burn some sage for a clearing, to clear the energy, or clear any energies or thought forms, you know, or if you that are around you, and whatever you're processing to as you're moving into this new year. So which is a wonderful time for the full moon to pop up, isn't it? So to move into that energy of clearing and cleansing the way for this new year 2021. Okay. So this has been burning since, you know, or before I started to do, as I was prepping this, my little stage, you could say, as well. So, and I suppose it's a little ceremony, you could say, a mini one, as per se. As we go into this new year, okay, and as we clear and bless our energy and the energy that we've been through, clearing and blessing ourselves before we go into this new year, to allow us to move into the new year. And you can also do that clearing and blessing again as well as you move into it, because you probably will be releasing stuff again, as even like from you know, because the energy from the full moon or any sort of moon lasts for, you know, a few days, or either side of it, or is around for either side of it. So there's still plenty of opportunity to do any sort of ceremony as well. And whether it is on a full moon or not, you could do it any time, but it's strongest, I believe anyway, it's more effective, I'm saying, it was strongest, the energy to be in that space to release maybe a bit more or not. But anyway, you could do this any time of the month, on saying that, when you feel like you need to. Okay, so anyway, they're just wanting to settle down the information, so just bear with me, or bear with us as we tune in. So today, or I tune in again into different energy, because we have a different energy. So connecting again with connecting again. So you may be finding it for yourself, about reconnecting with, not just so much with spirit, with people, like shifting and changing, because I'm thinking, what's going on here? Because I'm already connected with spirit. So it's like, okay. But I feel like that's partially that I'm picking up on a lot of yous out there, that you may be disconnecting or feeling disconnected from certain people or certain situations. Maybe the connection isn't as like it was before. And that's because you're shifting. Your energy is shifting, and as your energy is shifting, and you've been processing some things and some epiphanies and that, so, you know, things aren't going to be like they were before with, say, relationships with certain people, your relationship with yourself, your relationship with, you know, maybe some members of the family, and even Mother Earth, you know, as you start to like shed stuff, release stuff, whatever words you like to call it, you know, to use to express that. So anyway, as we're going through, I'm just asking, because I had an idea of where we're going to go with this session, but they really wanted to, like, as I'm connecting with, like, Gemini's really, the energy of Gemini, the star sign Gemini, is really wanting to, like, zhuzh up the energy to get things moving for us, because I'm a Gemini too, and that's in my personality sign, my sun sign. And so I predominantly follow that sign more than my other signs. However, I do check out my other ones as well, because it just gives me a more comprehensive overview. So I feel like something is happening when they're talking about, like, for me to mention that is about expanding your vision, your mind, but also being here and grounded. Okay, so some of you may have been not so grounded lately, but that's because, once again, you've been processing some things, and sometimes when we're out there in our head, we get a little bit lighter, and when we're coming back down, and as we're doing that, the way Spirit is, as we're doing that, we're starting to ground again, bring ourselves back to earth more so. And yeah, okay, where you going? So anyway, where are we going? We're doing a mind, body, spirit, soul, okay, reading, okay, today. This is where they're going, where we're going. I was wondering if we were going to go somewhere else, but that is for something else. So here we go. And this, today I'm using the Voyager Tarot, as well as the Rider-Waite and the Sacred Earth Oracle, as well as the Starman Tarot deck, as well as, and the Angel deck. So we'll just see how we go, where Spirit are going to take us. So first of all, I want to start off, even though these ones fell out, I want to start off with passion. Okay, so the Ten of Cups is falling out first. So the Ten of Cups for me is like, there's a lot of passion that is coming through now that you're starting to let go of some emotional stuff. Not just of the distant past, but of the recent, the recent past, and even like really, really recent, but it's probably stemmed from the past. So there's a sense of, some of this ancestral stuff that's been coming through, and some of the, when I say ancestral stuff, it not necessarily goes way back for some of you. Some of you may have done quite a bit of processing that, but there will be probably a link to that. But where are they going with? But there's something that a lot of you that's come into the now. So there's some more recent releasing, and you've been going through this little process, and I feel like for a lot of you it is to do with the ancestral stuff on saying that, but more in this lifetime. Okay, more so in this lifetime. And so now it's like you've come to an end. Okay, so the cups, like I say, is, as you'll probably realize now, is, about feelings and emotion. So in relationships and our emotional connection with ourselves and others, and on that sense. So there's a shift in that, and I feel like there's this feeling like, and your intuition may have, and your creative activity may have been in a little bit of a slump lately, or up and down. So it's been like your energy may have been all over the place. So it's been like choosing your moment. Like when your energy's up, it's like hurry up, do that, or whatever it is that, create, and your intuition may be a little bit off at times. So but not necessarily, more so for your own personal self. Not so much because they're giving me an example of, if you're doing, or within your work, if you're working like in this way or something out or another way, or even in your whatever career you're doing, and because we often listen to our intuition, even though you think you're not, maybe some of you, but in rolling with and making decisions and things like that. So it's like using your intuition, because with what feels right, your gut feeling, but it's like I feel like it's starting to click back into place. Okay, it may have been out in space before. So, and then there's this newfound passion that's coming through, and it could be right now. You may be even already feeling that for these, especially for these first few weeks of January, anyway, and. So you're allowing yourself to let go of that. So then I'm going to go to these two here. So they are in reverse. So that's the Ten of Worlds and the Nine of Crystals. So we'll go back to this Ten of Cups because it'll make more of a story. So this is like where your mind may be at the moment. There's something like moving through something, as well as your feelings. Okay. So then we have the Ten of Worlds. So, okay, an emotional disconnection. Maybe you're disconnecting emotionally from stuff more so now, and not allowing your emotions to make your decisions, basically, or not make decisions with letting your emotions get in the way. Okay, there we go. And then like the 10 of Worlds and the 9 of Crystals. So are in reverse. So I'm going to turn them around, because the 9 of Crystals is there is a complete something coming to an end. Okay. And there may be a little bit of a narrow-mindedness, like in your physical walk, and seeing something and walking through something, actually taking some steps. So this passion here, this 10 of Cups, is like now, like you're more coming into like this, not letting your emotions get in the way, which is interesting, because I'm going to go do the first road like this in the now or the recent past. Okay. And then which makes sense with this physicalness. It means that you're with that narrow-minded thinking. It's like you've maybe stopped yourself or held yourself up from, or you notice that. So it may be something that's been coming up that you're actually noticing about in the past, how you've made decisions with your emotions. And not all of them have been negative or not worked out so well, but it's kind of, I feel like that seems to be a theme that's coming up. And other things around that. So when you've walked, it's like, or you haven't thought out or gone or allowed yourself to think outside of those emotional things that have come up, which has clouded some of maybe your intuition and your creative thinking and feeling as well. So it can make a difference. And so I feel like you may have been processing things like that, and now working through that. So 9 of Crystals, something's coming to an end, okay, with that way of thinking and being and doing things in the end. And then, because then we have the 10 of Worlds, and something is opening up. So there is some sort of reward. So the 10 of Worlds in this deck or the 10 of Crystals, and the crystals in this deck are the swords. So the Worlds in this deck are the equivalent of the pentacles. So there's some sort of reward coming from that, moving out of that. So there's a suggestion of, really looking at, that side of you. So some of you may be already realizing that now, but and maybe some of you maybe not actually totally get that until, or be feeling that until, around more closer to next week maybe, or this weekend. So, gosh, here we go. The 9 of Worlds here is here as well. So that it's harvesting, harvest. So there is something coming to an end where you now are, feeling like you can, reap these rewards, because the 10 of Worlds is there. Now you have the 9. So maybe you're not feeling like it's there yet, or it's coming, it's coming up, but it's like it's there. Something is like, once you move, open up your world, you could say, and you could be that you may be working on your relationship with money, and how you accumulate money, and how you where are they going. There's a word that I can't think, it's not coming with me to me now. If I pop something in there and I'm just like, it's gone. So and how you, I want to say the word that's coming through is dissolve money. So, and like money comes and money goes, and it can come in like loads, and it can release it with loads, and it come quite quickly, and it can come with lots of money. Money can come and go in all sorts of different amounts, but it's like when you have lots of money, it's maybe it doesn't last that long, or there's something, I think, there's 2 or 3 things going on, and I'm just asking you to hang on a minute, slow down. But I feel like you know what they mean by that. So I'm not going to go too far into that, because it's like, whoa, it's like some of you may be getting your head around that, and you may be playing this like funny little blame game for stuff that has happened in the past. And you may be blaming yourself, you may be blaming somebody else, and it's like, oh, don't, and about that situation. And it may be that you feel like you've forgiven that situation, because the full moon is about really forgiveness and releasing stuff, and forgiving you, not only others or situations and stuff like that you may be going through, but yourself, ourselves as well. So there's something about harvesting that. So maybe that is where this, for some of you, is going. That's something, it's like you finally release and, you know, this, and go into that forgiveness state of things where you now where you're able to open yourself up to the rewards. And, you know, and I'm just feeling like, hearing like that, and the money is there. Money is there where, whatever you call, you know, you resonate with money, how you see money, that there is finances that are available or coming to you or there. But it's just, there's something that maybe you've held on to that is, you know, that is the block. And maybe you thought you'd allowed yourself to release that. But here's the Nine of Worlds here, and it's saying to harvest, you know, harvest. It's talking about harvest. And then art. So art, and this has come up in this deck. So I'm hearing that as a creative. So there is, you know, money is coming in. It's a time to harvest your rewards, but I feel like the rewards in some way is like your energy. Harvest the energy, the amazing energy, or that potential that you do have within you to go out there and do whatever it is that you're wanting to do, be, give, and have in your life. It's also in who you want to do, be, give, and have things with in your life as well, and how you want to do, be, give, and have things in your life. So there's more. There's some releasing at the moment into letting yourself, allowing yourself to move through that space. So I just want to, oh no, that's okay. Wanting to reach out and do some more clearing. So it maybe there is something about doing some, you know, releasing work on there. And maybe that you gather a couple of friends and do that would be quite a nice thing to do, you know, with a group of friends. Yeah, so the Nine of Worlds, wow, that's pretty cool. And I'm just hearing about also, you know, the World's Pentacles is also around family too. So there's something that you may have been, you know, a little bit narrow-minded with stuff in your family, and about releasing stuff and maybe not seeing the other side of the story, or just sharing compassion or something like that. So there's something that shifting in there, or shifts in there. I feel like there's more of a shift depending on whether you allow yourself to go there and release that stuff. But, you know, view it, not so much just review, but view it so you can release it. So, I mean, you know, wholeheartedly. So there is some sort of reward in that way where there is a lot more peace within you, and, you know, in this releasing. So harvesting the Nine of Worlds is, you know, it's like you're starting, like the Ten of Worlds, you start to see, actually, you know, and feel a lot, see yourself and feel within yourself a lot better, a lot calmer, a lot more visionary, a lot more, you know, I'm hearing like sensory as well, like in your intuition is more on par again with yourself, your personal self, as well. So it's like in your creativity maybe start to open up a little bit more. So then with this art, so this is what this art is. It's like there's some quirky stuff in there, and lots of colors there. So it what I'm hearing is like there's a release of creativity, you know, and this is like your soul talking to you in a way. So mind, body, spirit, or rather, and soul energy coming through. Spirit is like getting in touch with that spiritual side of you, helps you to look at this other stuff and how you're working, can work to release it, basically. So this is not about beating yourself up. This is, and you may go there, but it's releasing that as well, okay? It's like looking at that, feeling it, and feeling it, and it may be a little bit uncomfortable, but when we get to that uncomfortable stage, and we're acknowledging it, you'll start to feel a release if you allow yourself to see, you know, look at that and your part in it, basically. So then we move into the soul side of things, the creativity. Oh my gosh, so that's beautiful. The Three of Crystals here. So like I say, the Three of Crystals is like the Three of Swords. So there's something, you know, coming out of that, the creative side, you know, because you've allowed this art energy here with the harvesting, and you're looking at the energy around it and your part, and thinking more creative, being more creative about your vision, about how things roll, how you can roll better, rock and roll in the world, and on this life journey, basically. You know, there's a lot, this creative, I feel like there's a soul connection there where you are able to connect in there in a different way now, on a soul level with you, because this is like forgiveness not only in this lifetime as well in some ways, but it's also on a soul level as well. So when we're working with others or experiences in this lifetime, and you may be like thinking and feeling, how the hell can I forgive that person? And there's something that I've learned in a long time ago, and it's been come up again, and it's really about, it's like releasing and that forgiveness with the soul, on a soul level basically, of that. It's of that with that person on a soul level. So it's even though some of these things may be unforgivable, but it's of that person in here, and maybe you're forgiven like and move through the experience, but it's like this is on a soul level. And I just feel like this is talking about like that, not just that, but it's like looking at other ways and how that people are sharing ideas and being creative about how you release, forgive, and then moving into this next phase, you could say. Wow, that's really beautiful. I'm just really feeling that at the moment. And then we have the Ace of Cups, because isn't that beautiful? Ecstasy. Because out of that, moving forward, is like there's that feeling of ecstasy, is in a way, and with the way you feel about things, because there is that feeling that because you're not holding on to stuff like you used to, in that sort of way. And with whatever, especially with whatever it is that's come up for you to process now. So there is going to be stuff that's going to come up in the future, most likely. But it's like whatever it is there is to allow that to release, especially if you know what it is, and if it's something that's come up and you're not sure what it is allow yourself to release whatever it is that you're not sure of as well, because it will probably come up a little bit later. But that's a phase or an underlying phase they're talking about, that even though you don't fully know what that is, but something will probably come up a little bit later. But whatever it is that you that is processing that you do know of, is like visit it and release it, because this is coming. So your emotions, there's a new, a way of thinking, feeling, doing things as well. But it is the more the feeling, but your relationships with yourself, most importantly, it will shift. And because I feel like there's, I know for me and my own experiences in the past, and in the distant past, and the recent, in the not so recent past, but in the very recent past as well, it's nothing like that feeling of setting yourself free or allowing yourself to feel that peace and calmness within us, especially on an emotional level, and moving that way. So therefore your creativity and that feeling like, yes, I can move more, I can get through stuff more, but your relationship with yourself, your intuition, your feelings and your emotions will shift, as well as your creativity, and your relationships with others will shift. Because then we have the disappointment, and it's the Five of Cups, and it's in reverse. So there's something that, it's in reverse. So that for me with the disappointment, so there's something that, you've moved through some sort of disappointment, okay? And so I'm going to leave that upside down, because normally if it was up the other way, there maybe that would be, foretelling there's some sort of disappointment. But I feel like there may be something that might come up, and what would normally disappoint you would not. So that is your gauge, to tell you, that tells you that actually how far you've come from to where you are now in your growth within yourself, which is what they were talking about earlier on in the beginning of this this reading, this session. Woo! That came out really quick. So there's something that may come, because this has come up under the physical side of things, and this is like you in the now, but on the the mind side of things. So there's a shift in in your emotional side of you, but then something that must come up, may come up, must come up, may come up, must be what I'm saying. Not necessarily must be, but if something does come up, that'll be your gauge and how you cope with, handle, respond with that, if at all. It's like, oh, okay, in that sort of sense. So anyway, but then we have the Man of Wands that comes in on the spiritual side. So that is coming in, I feel. So, and it's usually, you know, either a fire sign, Sagittarius, Aries, or a Leo, they are coming through. But the Man of Wands is very, they call it, in this deck it's called the Actor. So the Man of Wands in this deck is actually the King of Wands, and the others is, you know, of the equivalent, or the same as there in other decks, more original type decks. So he is, you know, a very business-like person. So that may be something where you have been feeling like you've been spiritually blocked, or something blocked in a spiritual way, but because of all this learning that you've been, or you're maybe feeling like you're not able to move as much as fluidly or consistently in your business. So whether you're a male or a female energy, this energy comes through for you. This Man of Wands is here to either help you through something. So it may be an energy that you may be like needing to, or be good to bring into your life. So he's a very spiritual energy, and he's very enthusiastic, very business-like as well, and he knows his shit, okay? With especially as far as, you know, getting things rolling, because, you know, he's an action taker, he's a shaker and a mover sort of energy, okay? So that entrepreneur, but more than an entrepreneur. So, or, you know, he was an entrepreneur, still is as well, but more seasoned in business and things like that, because he's usually depicts an older male energy. So, or older male energy than yourself. For some of you could be that older male energy that's out there that has, you know, a bit of Sagittarius energy in you, where you have that, you know, you're in that business mode and you're wanting to like get things going again. For some of you, it may be that there may be that very motivation and passion is drawn back, because it's come back up here, you know, in the beginning here. That passion really starts to get moving in the next week or two, where you're able to, even like now, some of you are maybe more planning, but you may be still feeling a little bit with it, and it's like as in, I don't know where I get that from sometimes, but there's a little jerky. So, you know, like 2 steps forward and 2 steps forward and 4 steps back. So but I feel like the movement, it's going to change, you know, there's that energy changing. But there could be a male energy that's coming in that maybe have come into your life that will help you to take action, to help you maybe with a business plan, or just not even if it's, maybe not even a business, it may be more career oriented as well, or job oriented and that sort of thing. So and it could be a boss, it could be somebody, you know, or somebody who is online that does, you know, business entrepreneur sort of coaching and that sort of thing, and shares something and it just like gets you. So and I feel like, because he's got a very imaginative mind being and ideas, so you're very much, I feel you've got a lot of ideas and things, but sometimes it's like that's taking that action. So what I feel like this energy has come through is he will help you take that action, but you have to do it. You know, it's about, I feel like this energy, this card, this on a spiritual level is helping you to move, to shift and to take action into a space where you kind of want to go. Like I say, it's not necessarily a business. It could be, you know, a new job or a new career. It may be that you're going into studying a new career, or doing your master's, or adding on to it, or something, whatever it is, or expanding what you already have been studying. And practicing, but now it's maybe you're going to do another paper or another course to help enhance that. Oh, look at that. See, the universe. Excuse me. The universe is here. The universe, this card coming out tells me the universe has your back. The universe is out there, and it's like the world is your oyster. And it's like the universe really is out there, and the universe is our oyster as well, in a way. But you know what I mean. If we flip the world over into that. So the universe is there to help you. I feel like the universe, you know, the Gemini sign is saying, the universe, we've got your back. It's just now you taking those steps that you know that you need to take for you. And I say need, it's, and, you know, or want to take, desire to take. for you, in order to create the prosperity and abundance, and in whatever way, whatever prosperity and abundance mean for you, and moving forward. Because I feel like some of you may have felt like you've been held up for like ages, and it's like, you know, for ages and ages, and it's like, God, when is this ever going to bloody end? And it's for everlasting. It's never ending. It's like that never ending song, you know, with that lamb and that lady that sings it. Oh, I forgot what it's called now. This is the song that never ends. I can't remember all the words for them. I'm shuffling and thinking, how does it go again? So I'm just going to use the Starman Tarot deck and just go and just like to clarify, maybe go a little bit deeper on saying that. So here's the Princess of Swords here, just to wind this up as Princess of Swords comes through. So she is the page in other traditional type decks. So the Princess of Swords, you know, the page is, you know, about new beginnings. So there's like the 10, there's that epiphany stage and that transition stage with the 10, like you've figured it out, you've got to the 9, there's the completion of that cycle, and it's like, okay, and then you're transitioning in through the 10 and moving into the page. So the page takes us to the next level of that new beginning, of it, you know, a stage of the next stage. So there's something where you with you, air sign, so this is you, because I'm going to the mind here. And it's in where you are thinking, there's a new way of thinking, being, doing things, but I'm hearing like communicating as well. So you're communicating maybe in a different way because you're starting to get more of an understanding and more in a more peaceful, calm, and maybe a more jovial sort of a space than usual as well. Because you've figured something out, and you've allowed, you know, you've figured out how your emotions are feeling, and more balanced, and more noticing that now is what I'm hearing, or you're more willing to notice that now and be more in your own power of controlling you, basically. So because, you know, we are communicators, you know, but this is about, and we will say what we need to say. But sometimes, you know, we can be quite indecisive as well. So it's more finding that balance as well. So it's making decisions as well, because I'm hearing like indecision is a big thing as well, and asserting your power. Okay, so then we have the Ace of Cups here with this one here. With the Page of Swords, she talks about here, or he, Page of Swords, he or she, can be he or she, but the Princess of Swords in here talks about, I call on you to live your truth, which is basically what it is, and you're moving more into that truth space, okay? And then we have the Ace of Cups again, so there is definitely something moving along, and see, even like in the physical side, so this one here talks about, in this deck, is I overflow with the essence of life. Beautiful. So there's something, yeah, you're moving into something. I think that really says it also. I love the way these cards express them coming through here. So definitely it's like you're more at peace with yourself emotionally, and relationship wise with yourself. But then it's like, you know, you're starting more at peace in how you connect with people as well. On a different level. Okay, so you know, with where you are now, okay, it's like there's more opening up. And then with the spiritual side here on the with you, it's like, yeah, the Eight of Swords, there's constriction here, but then the Five of Wands is, you know, about, and this with the Eight of Wands is, I use what restricts me. So, and then we have the Five of Wands is I am hyper alert to all forms of conflict. So there's this Eight of Swords saying I use what constricts me. So it's like using, when I hear that, it's like turning it around basically to unfold what it is. So it's doing the opposite thing is what I'm hearing, is of using what constricts you or restricts you. Because there's that, you know, inner conflict that's there about what is going on that might come up again. And that, but it's like, I feel like you going into this side of things, there may be a little bit of that might come up again to you, but you've got the tools there because you're in a different place to sort that out quite quickly. And it's like, what is us, what is that is restricting me? Is it myself? Is it, the way that I'm thinking? Because it is, a swords again, because that's you, but it's like turning around and utilizing what you've learned from that, so you can skip out of this place of feeling that fear, that fear and that conflict about yourself, basically. So maybe you're questioning, you go into that side of questioning yourself because somebody may have said something, I don't know, but it's like moving out of that. So because you have the tools, you've been there before. So this is about getting out of your head, is what I want to say, about whatever is, could possibly be there, but actually is it? And you've just already figured that out. So it's like moving into this new space of you. Cool. And that emotional attachment to things. And we'll just get one more card out of here to see what comes up with. Okay, there's two. See, here's the Nine of Swords. So whatever it is, that's like, there's something about, you may be thinking that there's something over there, something comes to an end with that, in the soul sort of things. There's something about you, obviously, you figure it out, that one, and you're starting coming on a soul level. It's not, you're getting out of your head with whatever's been going on, okay? And then we have the Seven of Swords. Oh, that's cool. So the Nine of Swords is, I perceive danger everywhere. So there's a shift from that on a soul level, I'm feeling, and it's like turning that around. But then the Seven of Swords comes up with it, which is you as well, is I want what others have. So in order to do that, it's about breaking free. Because if you have a look at that, in there's this tank, which has, to me, that looks like water in it, or would have had water in it, but there's something that's like breaking free of that. So you've already had the Eight of Swords here, so there's something about breaking free of that, but you've been restricting yourself maybe at some point. But there is something now, it's like coming on a soul level where you have these two. It's like getting out of your space. So this is totally up to you, about moving through that. I do feel like when they're talking about this, it's like it's not like it's going to happen unless you allow it to happen, and being in control of your decisions and being in your power, like repeating that cycle is what I'm hearing. Okay, I know that's not it, but I do feel like it's like there's more of an understanding of now, of like reviewing and viewing from where you've come from, where you've been to where you are now, and what you've overcome. There's lots of swords in there. There's lots of you in there, which is cool, because it's processing, it's moving through, gearing you up for next year. I keep wanting to say this year earlier on because it feels like the energy is already here. And mind you, a lot of us, like, myself included, have been, thinking, planning about, and putting together and visualizing, where we're wanting to go. So that's probably why. And as we're moving into this year and healing this, whatever has come up for us as an individual. Cool. Cool. And also as a collective, I'm saying that. Okay, what have we got here for Gemini? For January the 1st to January the 15th. Okay, repetition. Cool. There we go. Which is kind of what I was just saying, there's like, there's like watching what you were repeating, basically. And then it's like how you got out of it, and what you've been, the tools that you've gathered, and the process that you've been working through is like repeating that process, basically, when things do come up. So, and it's, it's being more in your space, more in your power, more in your energy. See, look, and the moon cycles are there. So we do have like the full moon coming up there. So it's like really, taking note about how your energy is feeling in different circles, different phases of the, different phases when of the moon come up. and how you can utilize that to your favor. Okay, right. So anyway, that's all I have to share with you today. So this is for the January the 1st to January the 15th. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now. I do have this wave light here, this crystal here called wave light. It's a little bit like it's got a bit of green in it, little bit green, not quite as green as the fixed sheet at the back behind me, a little bit lighter. But wave light, I'm just going to read the notes that I've got here. The crystal of the soul, healing, usually occurs as starburst of radiating green to yellow crystals. It assists in looking at the overall bigger picture before making a decision, helps you to manage difficult situations, and provides all-around information. I just want to turn that around. All-round information. Oh, now where we got to complete a task or come to an informed decision. It also enhances the energy flow, producing increased stability and healthy balance in the physical body. Facilitates soul healing on a deeper level and may reveal the core beliefs that lead to dis-ease. Excellent support for those seeking emotional healing, as it facilitates the clearing of the past traumatic or abusive energies held within the emotional body. So that would probably be, and this is one that came to me, I was drawn to share with you today as I was prepping, getting my rooms sorted out. Anyway, I'm going to leave that there with you with lots of love, peace, harmony and joy, excitement and adventure, with also an amazing abundance and prosperity as well. Okay, bye for now. God bless you from my amazing spiritual team. We see you in a couple of weeks.